Okay, it's first live video. I want to take a minute to talk about the SSC Tuatara. They claim SSC is a sort of boutique brand that has really kind of always gone after top speed. And it's, gosh, they were kind of taking rebodied Lamborghini Diablos and shoving, I think it was a different motor in the back, and really pumping them up with turbos. And I think originally they took one of those cars and it hit something like 250 miles an hour in rural Washington and kind of shut everybody down. It didn't ever really seem to be fake. They didn't really make too many of those cars. I think it was really just a handful, 10, 15, or I really can't quote any numbers, so don't take this for the Bible. Then I want to say it was around 2010 where they dropped that they were going to be coming out with this car, the Tuatara, which is just came out to be one of the most beautiful designs ever. And it's penned and kind of partially engineered, designed by Jason Castriota. Jason is a designer who really, I think one of his largest claim to fame is what I think is probably one of the most beautiful cars ever. It is the James Glickenhaus Ferrari P45, which was a project that he did where he took Glickenhaus managed to get a Ferrari Enzo and rebodied it much in the spirit of the Ferrari P3, P4, P34, whatever you want to call that car, the 330 P4, and which I think is probably the most desirable car in the world. For me, at least, my bucket list, if anybody were to ask me for like one car, it'd either be the F40 or that one probably. And so the P45 was one of the most beautiful cars in the world. He did some work for Saab in making I think it was like supposed to be like a 9.5 successor that never really managed to come out. And some type of more of like a concept car for a sports car for them too. He put together this Tuatara design, and it really always kind of blew me away. And they were making claims, but this was 10 years ago. And a couple times over the 10 years, there were moments where the pictures came up and they kind of said that they were going to the pictures came up and they kind of still seemed like it perhaps was alive. And hey, good on them for continuing the dream. But with so many cars nowadays that seem to be coming out that are vaporware, or perhaps like they make it to clay model and they're rolled out in front of the world and never actually make it to fruition. It's cool to see that SSC never really gave up hope. So brings us to this record attempt. They seem to have blasted over media and everywhere that this made it out, and it hit 331 going one direction, but I think the overall was 316 miles an hour running both ways, which is the requirement for the Guinness Book of World Records, which they did in Pahrump, Nevada. Just today, there was an article by Jason Torchinsky that came out in Jalopnik that it looks like he had some direct contact with SSC, or SSC CEO Jared Shelby had released some type of a statement considering all of this sort of doubt that's been put out there by certain YouTubers like Shmi and Life of Palos, Misha Chardron, if I'm saying his last name correctly, who actually I really like all of those guys, right? Great YouTubers, putting the doubt out there to see if the looking at the videos and flat out what SSC CEO came out and said, that was the wrong video. Essentially, they edited together a couple of different pieces, and they essentially put out the wrong piece of content or patched together the wrong piece of content. So apparently somewhere there is a video. They say they did it. I don't think this is something that they would really fake all that much. What reason would they, dude, what, to sell some cars? Well, the type of people that are buying these cars aren't really suckers. They have a lot of money, and they tend not to get wrapped up in fraud too much. I think that they're very speculative. And I don't, it seems like SSC really cares about their reputation. And even with with the first car that they put out, it wasn't the prettiest car in the world, but man, they sure made it go fast. So I think that, just my personal belief is that they did it. I think that they're going to release some type of better media of the event. I mean, they had too many things there. There were a lot of people there at the record attempt, though. The official timing logging tool said that they weren't there. It was linked to GPS. So, that's kind of a hard thing to, I think, go sideways if they were really serious about it and manipulate. They had a plane. They actually had a jet following the car. So that's like, another way to sort of pace the car at speed. And it just seemed like there's too much to do here for it to be completely fake. So I'm going to actually go out on a limb and say, hey, you know what? I think that they did it. I think that they released the media improperly. We're going to probably see some more stories come out. And to the people who actually put in the time to put out those videos where they doubt, and they do the actual time marking compared to the Koenigsegg that ran on the same road, yeah, probably that video was incorrect. But hey, if they did do it, I think that they have the proof, um, that they should release it. I bet that they will. And even though it'll come under great scrutiny now, and given that this company kind of seems to be no BS, they've been working really hard on this for a long time. And this doesn't seem to be vaporware in any way or fake. I think that they will manage to produce some type of a content from that event where they went out and did the runs. If not, I think that this company would probably go out and repeat the effort to try and get them to do it again. So yeah. So I really think it's cool that an American company is going out and claiming this and making such a beautiful car. So this is my first live stream. Take the time to read the article by Torchinsky on Jalopnik, which has the feed from and information directly from Jared Shelby, the SSC CEO. And actually, I'd say one of my favorite content creators and guys in the business who I've been following for well over a decade is Matt Farah and the Smoking Tire. If I were you, I would definitely go listen to a podcast that he did like a week or two ago, where he actually had the designer of the car, Jason Castriota, on his show. And they talked in pretty good detail about this car, which is just really designed from a little bit of a different perspective. And what he kind of said, not ruining the whole thing, but he said that he was taking it into account of really getting the air to flow around this car at super high speeds. So yeah, take the time, go out, listen to those pieces of content, and I really think that that'll sort of show that this wasn't fake. So I'm Spencer. This is the Italian Tune-Up. Hopefully more chats, content like this coming out soon. And thank you all for taking the time to watch this. Check out my Instagram and kind of other things with the same handle. I don't post that often, but what I try and do, make it count. So cheers. Have a good one.